Hello, welcome back to my channel, and on this video we'll give you a basic idea how you can do a semi bucket seat. It's easy. When I say easy, guys, if you are just barely start on this tray, it might be hard for you, but it's not a big deal. If you ask a person who have been working on this tray for a long time ago, he will say the same thing. It is easier. Of course, you have to be positive in case if you don't have experience. And here I got the seat on the table. I'm going to start taking them apart. Just right there, you have to use a socket 10mm to remove a 2 bolt, and then you can pull the seat out of the frame. Right there, to remove the armrest, there is a secure lock, and you have to. It's like a pin. You have to push it in order to remove that armrest. I will show you a close look, and you will see what you have to do in there, because it's not a screw holding the armrest in there. You just push that little thing in there and move the armrest to the left, to the right, and the armrest will come out without a problem. See, it's blocking right there. I will move the phone away, that way you can see it. That is the part that is holding this armrest. So I just push it, and I am holding the camera with one hand, with the other hand I'm trying to push it, and you can see it right there. That go in a little bit. That is more than enough to remove this armrest. I just pull it a little bit, move it to the right or move it to the left in case if it's stuck in there, but for sure it will come out. You have to push that pin in a little bit. That pin is in, and now I'm just going to move it. Look how I move this armrest. In order to, I move a little bit, the pin is still in, and that's it. That little part right there is what it was holding the armrest. Okay, the armrest is out. Now you have to figure out if you're going to use the old cover as a pattern, or you're going to trace the new cover by the shape of the phone. On this case, I will use the old cover as a pattern. You have to put some marking there, because that will guide you when you're going to put those pieces together. So there is how one stitch all the way across. Personally, I don't like it, but I'm going to reupholster only the driver's seat. So that means the passenger seat has the same design, and I have to do it the same right here, exactly like how it is. Put those marking there. And something that I noticed right here, this cover have been shrink. I'm going to correct it, and you will see it. You can unstitch the old cover, or you can cut it. If you're going to cut it, make sure to cut it over the stitch. I am cutting. This is the easy way. If you have been watching my videos, you know that sometimes I cut them and sometimes I don't stitch it. See, I am cutting on that stitch. Simple. This is the easiest way to separate those pieces. Okay, I already separate that piece, but something is still holding, and that is a pull material. And right there is one more, and I'm just going to cut it right here on the bottom. Okay, I will show you something that is very important to pay attention before you remove the old cover. Check this out. I'm going to mark right here because the cover has been shrink, and I'm going to make a new cover. Before to cut the new cover, I have to make sure to add them on right here, because that part is short like 1 inch. Same thing on the other side. If I cut them exactly like how this one is, the new cover will be short too, and I don't want that to happen. You will see it right here. Look, I'm molding the cover to the shape of the phone, and look right there. Same thing on the other side. I'm molding the whole cover and same thing. So I put a mark in there. That means how much I'm going to give for extra on the new cover. And I just got it right here. Something to notice right here, you see the whole cover, it doesn't have font as a padding. I will add it at least 1/4 of an inch a padding. That way will look better and will stay left for longer. So I just keep on stitching, and you have to unstitch all those pieces. I'm just going to show you how you can unstitch the backrest and the bottom cushion. It is easier. Just remove the cover and unstitch it. That frame is broken. I'm going to weld. I am not going to show you that part. I am just going to show you about upholstery, how you can cut, how you can sew, and how you can put this cover all back together. So that part is done. And here is the bottom cushion. Same thing. Correct the cover before you remove everything. In case if you are a beginner, or you barely start learning, and you think you are not going to remember how to put all those pieces together, get the phone, take photo, take some picture, and that way it will be easier for you in case if you don't remember. This is the old cover, and you can see it. It doesn't look like if it is string, but I will make sure to correct too. And here I am cutting the backrest, the backrest cover, and just this piece. You just saw me removing the all bottom cushion and cutting, and I got everything done. Here is the armrest. A lot of people have a hard time doing armrest or doing a headrest, and believe me, guys, it's not hard. Just pay attention how the old cover is. Put a lot of mark on it. Mark are very important when the pieces are not straight, because that will guide you when you are sewing it. When you are sewing together, follow those marks. Make sure one mark stay on top of the other one, and that's it. Be patient in case if you're having a hard time doing it. If you do it one time and it doesn't look right, unstitch it. If you can reuse the material, do it. If you have to cut them again, do it. Believe me, at the first maybe it's not gonna look that nice, but if you don't practice it, you never will learn. You never will get the skill, and the skill right here is very important. I am here giving you an idea how you can do it, how you can learn, how you can see me watching, you will get an idea. When you are doing it, you will be practicing, and you will get a skill. If you don't practice, you're never gonna learn, you're never gonna get those skills. So this is the vinyl that I will use. It's a good vinyl. It's not a 4-way stretch, it's 2-way stretch only. And I will use 1/4 of an inch foam as a padding. To me, look way better when the cover have a foam that can be 1/2 inch or can be 1/4 of an inch thickness foam than when it doesn't. And it lasts for longer. That is the vinyl that I will use. And I will use this pneumatic glue gun in case if you don't have a glue, this kind of glue gun. You can use the other kind. There are a lot of different kind of glue gun, but if you can't afford a glue gun, my friend, you have to put glue by hand. Use a brush and start putting glue. I will glue the vinyl and the foam together. It's so easier this way. And then when you put glue, you have to do the same thing on the foam material. Don't put a lot of glue, just enough to hold both pieces. Enough. make sure no wrinkle. Okay, you done putting glue, you done gluing that material, so it's time to start cutting. That is the backrest face piece. And when you cutting, remember on this one I put a mark. I'm going to put those marks on the new material, then I'm going to give the extra because the backrest cover was short, so I'm going to make sure to give it the extra, and I'm going to start cutting the big pieces. There is not a rule that is say that I have to start with the big pieces, but we have to use the common sense, big pieces first and then the small pieces after. I will put a mark in there, and I am seeing, if you see that stitch where it is on there, I am marking like ½ inch away from that stitch. What is that ½ inch for? It's for the seam allowance. If you are learning, you have to do the same thing, otherwise the cover might be too short. And you see right there, I am giving more than ½ inch because that cover on that part, it is short. Put a mark. What is that mark for? Well, it is for the stitch that is going all the way across. See, I am using a chalk. I just sharpen it, and sometimes I use a feature silver ink for that's especially for vinyl and leather. But on this video, I am using this kind of chalk. I am not going to show you how you can trace all those pieces, but I am giving you an idea, a basic idea about that process, tracing, cutting the new pieces by the old pieces. See, I put a mark in there because that armrest is like that. And then, for example, this piece that I will trace is only one, because I am doing a one seat. See, I just put it. If you notice the mark the first mark that I put it is the stitch ½ inch away from that mark. That piece that I'm going to trace right now belongs to the side of the bottom cushion. One is on the left and one is on the right. I choose the best piece to cut it. Then I will flip it over and I will cut. If I am using the right piece, I will cut the right, and then I will flip it over to cut the left piece, because those pieces right and left from this seat are identical. And I cut it exactly on top of that mark. Always a mark are very important. Don't ignore, especially when those pieces are not straight. Don't ignore. You see right there, going to fold it by half and making sure left and right are identical, and same thing right here, put a mark. See, don't ignore those things. If you are learning, do those ones. Believe me, it will help you a lot and you will get used to it. I draw up that mark and I fold it by a half. The purpose of folding by half is making sure left and right of that part are identical, are the same. Same thing right here. You see, I put a mark because the cover on that part is not identical, and I want it to be identical. So I have to put a mark right there, see, and cut it. Then I will strike a line. On that line will be a stitch all the way across. I cut it right there because I'm going to put a stitch, then a top seam, and then a pull material. Okay, that piece that I am cutting, I have to cut one more, one left and one right. And you're going to do the same thing with the bottom cushion. Same thing. See, I fold it by half and I put a mark. Simple. I have to cut one more piece, and I will cut them on right here. Let me cut it right there. And then I have to cut this small piece. See, giving the extra, as always, put a mark, Then instead of the half inch in there, I will strike a line, then I will give an inch and a quarter because I have to fold it. No, that piece has to get in on the other side. I have to fold it. So I got him already. Put a mark in there. Put a mark in there. So I almost cut the whole backrest. I just had to cut in some other pieces. This is the other piece that you will see me tracing. See, I put all those pieces. I had to cut one more of that one. I had to cut two of those one too. And same thing right here, tracing. Exactly like I did. And then I'm going to cut it. I know if you barely start this trade, or you have been working on furniture for a long time ago, and this is your first time doing a bucket seat, it might be a challenge for you. It might be a challenge, but never give up. Never give up. I got all those pieces traces already. So next I'm going to start cutting. The scissor right here has to be sharpened, and remember I am cutting a vinyl and headliner material at one time. Put notches in there, fold it by half, like always. Okay, this is the last piece that I have to cut it. Then all those, the bottom cushion and backrest, the cutting process is done. Now it is time to take it to a sewing machine and start putting all those pieces together. That button that you see me pressing in there is for the length of the stitch. A lot of people ask me, why do you press that button? Well, on this machine, you can control the length of the stitch by pressing that button in there. And then make sure your machine is sewing good before you start sewing. I'm going to start with the armrest. First I'm going to put a stitch right here to create that hand. And look how easy it is to sewing a armrest. This armrest is easy because it doesn't have a piping and it doesn't have like a top stitch, so easier. Right here I have to put this piece, and I just going to, for me, I don't do this, but if you are learning, this is the easy way for you to do it. I don't put a stitch right there. I do it in a different way, but I think if you are learning, it's better to learn it from the beginning. And then I fold it by half. See, I fold it by half, making sure on both sides are identical. I'm going to cut it. I got one side, that is the back part of the armrest. I'm going to cut it right here, just a little bit. Right there. What happens if I don't cut it right there? Well, when I am sewing those pieces, it will be a big bump, and I don't want that. There is. Okay, there is one more thing. That piece, I put a mark in there. That piece have a 3-inch, but then it has to be at 2 inches. So I'm going to take ½ inch on one side and ½ inch on the other side when I am sewing. There is a mark. There is a mark too. I'm going to do the same thing right here. That mark, it is not necessary, believe me. On this, it's not necessary. So but right here I just do it this way. Had 3 inches, right? I put a mark right there, ½ inch. From there to there it is 2 inches. I'm going to start sewing like this. ½ inch, put a mark right there to make it obviously. ½ inch and put a mark right there to make it obviously. Same thing right here. That way you don't get confused. And I start sewing like this. Like I say, it is super easier. Make a stitch a little bit smaller and start sewing. See, mark on top of the mark, stop exactly on there. Then I twist it, ½ inch exactly, twist it, and keep sewing it. I got the front part already. You can start from the front or you can start from the back. Doesn't matter. Keep sewing it, and I will stop right there. Check this out. Put the mark on top of the mark. Put a mark in there. Cut him on there. Stop exactly on the mark. And same thing. Not a big deal, right? Simple. On some armrests you have to put a lot of mark because the shape that you have, the material that you're using. But on this one, I think with 4 notches is more than enough. And there it is. I had to do one more thing right here. I'm going to cut a little bit, not that much. And same thing right here. Then I will cut him on the corner because it's creating a pole in there. I don't want. Okay, I got it. That is ready. So it is time to start sewing those the cover. This is a lifting for headliner. I will sew in one that piece on the bottom. If you don't have experience doing that thing, I recommend you to put a glue in there and glue in that part in there. From that mark, I didn't show you that part. That's what I'm showing you right now. So I'll start sewing. There will be a point that I will stop sewing, and I will add that piece from the bottom. And you can see that it's a red mark. That means this white piece listing material will start from there. And you can see my machine have a lot of mark on it. That helped me, like on this case, to put that listing in there and grab exactly 1/4 of an inch or ½ of an inch. See, I am not seeing from the back. I just saw the listing, that the listing is on that mark. See? And keep sewing it. And I will cut it right there. Okay. And there is on that mark. Sometimes that pull material has to be like 1.5 inches, but on this one it is 1 inch. So now it is time to put those pieces together, those panels, and you have to see where is the top, and I will start putting those pieces. Just cut right there. I always do this, and I recommend you to do it too if you are learning. And I put the other piece. So those 3 pieces are creating one. Now you can sew the half first, and then you flip it over and sew the other half. But instead of doing that, I recommend you to try to doing this. See, that stitch has to be exactly on top of one mark, and then there is another mark that I don't know if you can see it. I will make it obviously on this piece. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, you have to start sewing it and make sure those marks match. Okay, there is one, and you keep sewing it, and you see that stitch has to be exactly on top of the other notch in there. In case if it doesn't match and it's like a 1/4 of an inch, one mark from another one, I think it's not going to affect the cover. But I recommend you to try to make those match. Same thing right there. Okay, I'm done with that regular stitch. Now I'm going to put a top stitch. Everybody can put a top stitch. The thing is, put a nice top stitch, put a straight top stitch, and there is what a lot of people struggle to put a sewing straight. If that is your case, if you try them and your top stitch doesn't look nice, well, it is simple. Require practice, and you have to practice it. If you don't practice it and you keep putting a top stitch, that top stitch might not look beautiful, believe me. And when you are putting a top stitch, make sure to pull the material away from the needle. Not just put a top stitch, pull it to the right, pull it to the left, pull it. You see me how I am doing it? I open it, then I hold it, and I sewing. Always like that. Always. And right here I have to put a lifting in there. A lot of people don't put nothing on here. I always put it. I don't know why, but the original cover always comes with something like this. And the color, it doesn't seem on there. I use white, some people use black, some people use charcoal or other color. So I'm done with the bottom cushion. Now I'm going to start sewing the backrest. And you see, if there is plastic, you have to make sure to unstitch it because you have to reuse. So I got this plastic already. Now I'm going to fold it right here. This is the back of the back. And I put the plastic in there. You have to know exactly how that plastic go. You just see me unstitch it, but sometimes I forgot that this video is for those who are learning, and I forgot to put mark, I forgot to explain it. But just pay attention how the plastic is attached to the vinyl and do it the same way. This machine is a console 226 heavy duty, and that's what I see sewing this plastic like nothing. So I got that plastic in there. Now I'm going to oh, you know what, I sewing wrong. The first plastic that I sewing should be on this piece, but that is not going to affect the cover. It's not going to affect it. I just cut them right there. I don't like that excess material in there. And I'm going to put this plastic go like this. Okay. Now it is time to put this stitch all the way across, and same thing as I did on the bottom cushion. Adding a pull material, and put in this tip, this part. I will put a top stitch on this part exactly like how it was, the whole cover. And I will add a lifting material for the pull right there. It's sometimes it is 4 finger, sometimes it is 3 finger away from the needle, and start sewing. You just see me sewing the bottom cushion, and right now we're going to start doing the backrest, and it's the same process. This is the side panel, and I'm going to fold and put a stitch in there. Same thing. I am not making nothing new. This is just the way how it comes. And I'm going to start sewing this right there. And make sure all those match each other. Going to make the stitch a little bit smaller. I always do it this way, and sewing that part in there. So that part is done. So, but I have to sew in the bottom part because I will put a top stitch. But before to do that, this part has to be attached to the other piece. And same thing, put in the top stitch, pull the material away, and that is top stitch has to be as straight as possible. I cut it right there because it's a poke in there. Okay. And now we're going to put this, close this cover with the back of the bag. I just made that mark, obviously. So, you just saw me cut him on there. You might think I just cut it, but there was a small, tiny mark that I can see it because I am so close. But through the camera, you might not see any, and you might think, "Oh, you just cut him on there." No, there were a mark in there. So this cover is done. Right now, I have to take it to a table and start mounting to the phone. And right here, you can see that cover, that phone, it doesn't have nothing wrong. But I will add a padding, 1/4 of an inch thickness. That way the customer will feel that different than how it was before. It doesn't have nothing wrong. A lot of people don't put nothing on there. I always do. I did them on the cover, and I am doing right here. It's not that much fun. and then I will trim all around for the excess material. Sometimes I put plastic, that way it is easier to put the cover on, but in this case I am not going to put plastic. It doesn't need it. That's why. Here is the cover. And I'm going to start putting in. Right here I have some wire. You see those wire? It have something on the tips. I added that on the tip because I don't want, sometimes when you don't add nothing, you leave the wires like that, sometimes cut the material. That's why I always protect the cover by adding that thing to the wire. I'm going to use a hand ring plier and a hand ring. You can buy all these tool and material and any upholstery supplies in the United States. If they don't have it, they will order for you. Even Amazon or eBay, they have it. That is a manually hand ring plier. You see, I am putting the cover, and this way it is easier for me to do it, because on the table was like kind of hard because the table it is kind of high, but right here is so easy. So I make sure the cover is equal on both sides, and then I put the wire through that listing, and then I hold it with one hand ring, and I will put one more hand ring on the other corner, the other side, and I keep pulling the cover. So I got it now. I make sure. Sometimes you can cut that cover right, you can sew it perfectly, but right here, if you don't mount the cover right, it will look crooked. So pay attention to that detail, and right here I'm going to just do it this way. See, I pull it right there, and this it is easier. Both plastic you have to lock, and that is so simple, huh? Like when I say it is easier, it's because it is easier. Not a big deal. So I have to make a hole for the armrest right here, and there is the hole already. So I moved that one away. So now it is time to check if the armrest, if the armrest need a phone repair, and this one needed. So need a little bit repair right there. I will put glue, and I will add a half of an inch thickness bond just on the top. That is a half-inch thickness bond, and I will put it just right there. Okay, and I will put a plastic, same plastic that I had before. For a lot of people, even for me to be honest, sometimes this part it is hard putting that armrest cover. On this one it's not hard because that cover is not like hard like some other armrests that I have injected foam. That one require, you have to know, there is a different way when how to cut the cover when the armrest is have like injected foam. And right here I didn't make that hole big enough, so I will just do it this way and put them in. And I will put glue, just make sure to hold that part. There it is. So I got the backrest and I got the armrest, and now we're going to start repairing this bottom cushion foam. I will glue it together first. Sometimes I glue it, then I will put a bottom in there. Always it is recommended to put a material in there. Why? Because sometimes the seat frame cut the phone, and by adding material in there you are making that part last for longer. Always adding any fabric in there. So I already added them on there. Now I'm going to put this frame in there. Check the frame in case if it is broken you have to weld it like I did on the backrest, and I put glue just enough to hold that frame into the phone. So now I'm going to repair that part of the phone. How? Well, I just need to get rid of the phone that is not good in there. And you're going to decide how much are you going to cut it. Can be 4-inch, can be 3-inch, or can be 1-inch. I'm going to cut just 1-inch, and I'm going to add a new phone in that area. Right there. A lot of customers buy the whole phone new instead of repairing, but sometimes it is so hard to find the phone, and maybe because have been discontinued or they don't make it, and when that happened I made the whole bottom cushion phone new out of scratch. What kind of density phone I use? 2.5 pound of density. If you have been watching my videos on my Spanish channel, you have been seeing me doing this process a lot. After I repair that phone in there, I'm going to add a 1/2 inch thickness. Why 1/2 inch on the bottom cushion and 1/4 inch on the backrest? Well, simple answer. Because this is the bottom cushion. The whole way for the body rests on this part. That's why I'm adding a 1/2 inch. A good quality phone. The cord might be a little bit tight, but it will fix. So now it is time to put this cover, and I am just holding that part of the cover right there. First thing that I do, make sure it looks nice before you keep going. If you need another hand rim on the center, feel free to put them. Some people start from the back. It doesn't matter from where you start, but I always start from the front corner, then I go in a little by little all the way to the back, and you can see how I look that part in there. Look awesome. I like it. Look, not a big deal. I just have to hold that cord with some hammer on the bottom, and make sure if you see any mark of fault in there, not a scratch, those marks will come out with the sun. I'm going to put this wire on there. This is a flexible wire. Sometimes it is hard to put them in. I'm going to put it all the way around that part. I'm going to cut them on the center right there. That way I can pull it. So now I'm going to hold that part with some handrim on the bottom. The cover is a little bit tight because I added an extra pattern in there. It's not a big deal. That white material in there, it don't have to show it from the outside. If in case if you can see it from outside of when the seat is onto the frame, you have to fix it. I pull that wire and I pull the other part I put a hand rim on there. Before it didn't have nothing on there. Let's cut it and pull it and then twist it and cut it. And there is that bottom cushion in there. I just cut it. So that part is done. And you can see it. If you see the white material right now, you have to fix it. See, I put it facing up and I couldn't see nothing. So I just put this armrest, push that pin a little bit, and then you will see it and you will feel it when that part get into the hole. This is the last part. Assembly that seat to the frame. Do you remember I just removed two screw? Well, now it is time to put it back. And this is done, my friend. You saw how it was at the beginning, right? And now you can see how it is. Like I say at the beginning, this it is just a simple seat. It is not hard, it is a base seat. A lot of seats, semi-truck seat, are harder than this. You might, if you are learning, you might say, well, boss, you say it is easy, but for me it is hard. I understand that part. You are in that process, learning. I still learning. I have been working on this trade for a long time ago, but I still learning. But if you don't practice it, always will be hard for you. Always will be hard. So, secret right here is the practicing. It's an art. If you have been working on this trade for a long time ago, thank you for watching this video. You know all this process, and believe me guys, I don't have nothing new to show you. You already know this. Thank you my friend for watching this video. My name is Mario Ernesto and I upload videos related to upholstery to this channel so often, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it. If that was your case, don't forget to hit the like button. Any comment, leave it in the comment section of this video. And thank you so much. See you soon.